I want to start with a provocation. The form, the web form, the sign-up form, the contact form, is one of the worst UX inventions in human history.
Strong start.
I mean it. We took the most natural thing, having a conversation, and replaced it with filling out fields for 30 years, and somehow that became normal.
In fairness, the form was a technical constraint. You couldn't have a real conversation with a database. So you built a structured input layer.
And now you can. The constraint is gone. So why are we still building forms?
Inertia, and the fact that most product teams haven't caught up to what's possible. But the companies that have are seeing wild results.
Tell me a number that surprised you.
One of our portfolio companies replaced their lead capture form with a ChatInstance voice widget. Conversion went from 3.2% to 11.4%, 3.5 times just from the modality shift.
Because people will talk to something that talks back. The form doesn't talk back. It just waits, judging your spelling.
And the conversation gets you data you'd never get from a form. Intent signals, hesitation points, things they almost said. That's gold for sales.
The other thing I keep coming back to is Gen Alpha. I have a 14-year-old nephew. He doesn't type for fun. He talks. He records voice messages. He uses his phone more like a walkie-talkie.
And he'll be buying products in 6 years. If your interface requires him to fill in fields, you've lost him before you started.
The generational assumption of voice first is just different. They grew up with Alexa, with Siri, with talking to AI as a normal thing. Text input feels laborious to them.
The interesting design question is, what does voice first actually require? Because you can't just slap a mic button on your existing app and call it done.
The whole information architecture has to change. Voice is linear and temporal. Screen UIs are spatial and simultaneous. You can't see 6 options on a voice interface. You have to sequence them.
Which is actually closer to how humans naturally process decisions. We don't see all our options simultaneously. We work through them conversationally.
Right. The GUI was the weird one all along. We just got used to it because it was the only option.
Zero UI is the concept I'm most excited about. Interfaces that disappear entirely. You just talk to your environment, your tools, your products.
Ambient computing. The phone is a transitional device between the keyboard era and the ambient era.
And AI is what makes ambient computing real. You need something on the other end that can actually understand intent, not just pass commands.
The old voice assistants failed because they were command parsers. Alexa, play jazz. Siri, set a timer. Narrow input, narrow output.
Now you can say, find me a flight, I'm flexible on dates, I hate layovers, budget is around $1,000, and surprise me on the destination but keep it warm. And it gets it.
That's a fundamentally different category of interface. It's not parsing a command. It's handling ambiguity, preference, context. That's a conversation.
The product implications are huge. If your product's value proposition can be delivered conversationally, you don't need an app. You need an agent.
The post-app era. I've been saying this for 2 years and people looked at me like I was unhinged. Now I'm just early.
The App Store had its moment. But apps as a delivery mechanism for software, they're becoming legacy. The interface layer is moving to conversation.
What are the hard problems? Because this sounds utopian and I know it's not.
Discoverability. How do you find a voice interface? Apps have stores, categories, search. Voice agents are where? That's an unsolved problem.
Context and memory. A voice conversation needs to know who you are, your history, your preferences. Without that, it's frustrating.
Privacy. Ambient voice capture is deeply sensitive. There's a real reason people hesitate. The companies that solve trust here will win.
And the multimodal question. Sometimes you want to see a map. Sometimes you want to scan a list. Voice alone isn't always right. The best interfaces will blend.
Voice first, not voice only. The starting modality is conversation, but you can drop into visual when the content demands it.
ChatInstance is interesting here. Widget that's voice first, works on any site, maintains context. That's the exact pattern I'm describing.
And any developer can embed it. The barrier to offering a voice-first interface on your product went from a 6-month engineering project to 10 minutes and an API key.
That accessibility is what tips the market. When every small business can have a voice interface, the holdout companies look behind the times.
The question is just, which era do you want to build for? The form era or the conversation era?
I know which one I'm building for. WaveForm. I'm Ava Brooks.
Leo Grant, talk soon. Literally.